Thank you for joining us on the Your Dose of Death podcast with yours truly, Lauren Rosenberg. I am happy this is the very first episode. And before we get into the nitty gritty, I just want to give a big shout out to my sponsor, Grateful Deathmatch. They don't have a lot going on at the moment, but if you hit that shopping center and go to the checkout, please hit up the code DEATH for free shipping around the United States. And now, without further ado, I think you all know why you're here. I am proud to introduce my very first guest of Your Dose of Death, the man who currently holds what I believe is the most prestigious championship in all of hardcore/deathmatch wrestling, a man who needs very little introduction. He is the rancid one, the trash with the stash, Bam Sullivan. Bam, thank you for coming on. How do you feel being the very first guest?
It's my pleasure. I'm honored. I'm excited. I've been looking forward to it, and I'm happy to be here.
Well, thank you, Bam. Thank you for taking the time out of your busy day, your busy schedule. I know you just got your COVID test today, so thank you for being one of the safe workers out there as well.
Oh yeah, no, of course. I'm not trying to toot my own horn or anything, but I know a lot of people have their concerns, with traveling performers. So I am being a little bit selfish by continuing to perform, but if I can at least get tested regularly, and wear masks and take my precautions, I think that's a fair compromise.
I think that's a lot of fans. They just ask for that because I think right now there's times are still uncertain for the most part. But I think if we see the wrestlers taking the initiative to be safe and to do the right thing, others will hopefully follow suit.
Yeah, I
So,
hope so.
so I first wanted to just say, I mean, congratulations on everything you've been able to accomplish. I think the biggest thing, of course, is the Danny Havoc Hardcore Championship. And that kind of leads into my first question. When Matt Treman announced the tournament for Last Extravaganza and you were in it, the names that were piling up for that tournament, I mean, Alex Colon, Lucky 13, Eric Ryan. I mean, did you
Yeah.
expect any kind of thinking, well, maybe I could win this all?
I mean, of course, I was excited. Anything Matt Tremont puts his name on, I'm excited to be a part of. It was probably the most intimidating I've ever felt in my entire life. Going into a tournament of basically a who's who of this style of wrestling. I knew that I wasn't first on many people's lists. That's okay. I think I did a pretty okay job. I'm very lucky. I'm very fortunate. But yeah, it was definitely the biggest challenge of my journey so far.
Well, I mean, that's great to hear because I mean, I think many people, yes, you were one of the underdogs going into it, but every single match I watched of yours in that tournament, you gave it 100%, which is all you can ask for. And especially in that finals where, I mean, you're going against Alex Colon, who personally is one of my favorite wrestlers ever. So I was like, damn, Alex Colon, Bam Sullivan. I don't know how this is going to turn out, but it turned out to be a spectacle for sure.
I appreciate it. I hope I didn't ruin anyone's night. I knew a lot of people were looking forward to Alex getting the W. One of the best I've ever wrestled, hands down. He that man pulled no punches. I didn't expect him to, but I have a few. This guy right here is Alex
Yeah,
Colon.
still from that match,
I have
right?
a few of them that'll never go away, and it'll always be a reminder of the time that Alex Colon carved me up on indie wrestling TV in front of everybody. But yeah, no, it was awesome. It was awesome. Cologne's the man. I bled buckets in that match. I thought something really bad happened. Thankfully, I was able to walk. I'm okay, but yeah, I lost a lot of blood. I lost a lot of blood that night.
Yeah, that was something else with that final, especially. I mean, that weekend was really just a dedication to a man. I think I'm assuming most people, including yourself, were inspired to do the style of wrestling you do in Danny Havoc. And I think seeing that dedication come out of every single person in that tournament made it even more special.
Yeah, I think so too. Most definitely. Obviously, it is a tragedy. It was a terrible thing. A lot of us were affected, tremendously. Like I said in my post match promo, I didn't know Danny very long. I was fortunate enough to know him for a couple of years. So I can't pretend to be one of his lifelong, best friends, and I wouldn't. but yeah, the whole weekend was just everything from the Havoc tournament to the championship to Matt's final match with RSP in that light tube monstrosity that they wrestled in. Like,
Oof.
yeah, it was. You don't really get a lot of those natural highs in life. That was definitely one of them for me.
I'll never forget when Tremont, after his match with RSP, he said, it was something along the lines like, it doesn't, it doesn't pay to be nice. Just don't be an asshole. Something Danny said. I remember it was.
Yeah, yeah. A big thing that Danny was about was it's nice to be nice, you know, and
Yes.
and I think that's one of the reasons why Danny and I got along so well when I first met him. I think he could tell that I was, you know, I like to think of myself as a pretty nice dude. You know, I don't like confrontation. I don't like, you know, upsetting people. I always treat everyone fair with kindness, and Danny did that for me as well. And he didn't owe me anything. You know, I didn't. He's a fucking super. You know, what I'm saying, like, I was a young green as goose shit, and he treated me with such kindness, and that's a big deal to me because wrestling makes it very easy to be an asshole. So I was
Hmm.
very nice to see that from someone that I consider, you know, one of the top guys in this spot.
Do you have any like fond memories of him or anything like that?
Unfortunately, like I said, I didn't know Danny very long. All my fortunate memories are just shooting the shit with him for a few minutes, you know, like just talking about life and, you know, how is he doing? How am I doing? You know, just little, what do they call it? Small talk, you know, here and there. But always such kindness, you know, even if he's like, you know, friendly, ribbing some of the boys or whatever, like it was always in good fun and never meant to hurt anybody. And like I said, man, I don't mean to gush, but there's very few people out there in the world, let alone wrestling, that are like Matt Tremont and Danny Havoc and just really just good people. So anytime I got to spend with Danny Havoc was a treat.
Yeah, absolutely. You hear from everybody just about the pure kindness in his heart, even if you didn't know him long enough. He treated you like family.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, exactly. Like I said, he didn't even owe me that. He could have easily been a dick to me, and he would have had every right to. Um, that's the way things go sometimes in wrestling. But he was
Hmm.
always very nice, and for someone like me who I have horrible anxiety and social anxiety, and I'm not good with that kind of stuff. It was very nice welcoming from someone who's, like I said, at the top of his game.
Well, I mean, that's fantastic. So, I've been kind of doing a little research as well. You're going on about roughly 6 years in the business now, as of right now,
Yeah, yeah. Let's see. It's the end of January, and about a month, and about 5 weeks, it'll be officially 6 years since I stepped foot into a
officially.
wrestling school. Yeah, March 3rd.
Okay. And
March 1st. Sorry,
March 1st. Okay.
I tattooed it. Hold on, it's
Oh, okay.
March 1st. Okay, March 1st.
Smart man. That's a good way to remember your dates. So it was funny because Casanova Valentine tweeted this out yesterday. The pastry death match that you said you couldn't have watched because it was all happening to you. Um, and so I went and watched it today before because I mean,
Oh, thank you.
and I can't help but notice. I mean, the crowd. Like, were you originally a heel?
I've been a heel most of my
Okay.
most of my career. Although
I'm used to
truth,
seeing you getting cheered, so it was
yeah. I
like,
mean,
oh, what?
I mean, truth be told, I much prefer being a baby face. It's much
Oh,
closer to my real life personality, which makes it a lot easier. I feel like people can see through things that aren't authentic, so it's easier for me to be a baby face. But yes, for most of my career, I was a heel, and going into a brewery, you know, in which Casanova is like the fucking king of, it was
the crowd was
yeah, it was
nuclear.
only natural. I didn't. My job was easy. I just looked at them and they hated me. And I cut a promo beforehand where I knocked the IPAs and I said Heineken's the real man's beer, and they just hated it, and it was all in good fun.
Yeah, you can't mess with people who drink IPAs, man. They love to hate on others. They're like, oh, screw the light beers. It's all about
Oh
IPAs.
yeah, it's a bunch of gatekeeping elitists, you know. But it was a lot of fun. I like being a heel. It's fun, man. You know, you get to kind of mess with the crowd a bit, and Casanova is just instantly over as a baby, so it was only natural that
I mean,
they
that's
hated me.
his neck of the woods up there as
Yeah,
well.
we're up in Brooklyn. I mean, come on, I stood no chance.
Oh my goodness. So I think the big part from that match was the infamous dildo that was used. It was like
Yes,
dildo with screws.
yes, that was actually that was the second iteration of Satan Cock.
That's right.
The first one, if my information's correctly, got lost on the subway. Actually turned into like this big viral meme where it's because people just found this spiked dildo on the
Oh my
subway, and it blew up, and like it not even like outside of wrestling crowds, like it was crazy, it was crazy. And
wait.
unfortunately it was never returned. So that
Oh,
was Satan Cock 2.0 that I had to suffer
okay.
from. Yeah, yeah.
Well, that thing was something else, and I know Cass loves using his bizarre weapons, and I think that is definitely one of the top in his repertoire of weapons.
Yes, yes. When it comes to Low Life Louie and Connor Claxton and Casanova Valentine, yes, they love their deathmatch sex toys. That's for sure.
Claxton, yes, for sure, from what I've seen with him.
Oh
Um,
yeah.
so big news today. You were just announced for GCW's Fight for Forever, or Fight Forever, correction, against Atticus Kogar for the
Yeah.
No Peace Underground show. I kind of want, since this is kind of an episode of firsts, I felt the need that I'd give you the open mic. Maybe you can shoot us a little promo
Oh
on
yeah, sure.
Atticus.
Yeah, I mean, hey Atticus, listen, man, I got nothing but respect for you. You're the silver teeth Satan. I don't know what that means, but I'm very happy. Your grills look fantastic. What is it? Is it pure hate written on his knuckles?
Yes.
I mean,
It's
yeah, the
pure hate.
guy's he's a walking gimmick. Obviously he must have had a very hard life, I'd imagine. But I'm looking forward, to wrestling you, man. Um, I know you got a lot of friends in the business. They kind of go around and just kind of take what they want and step on everyone's toes. And I truly hope you'll give me a one-on-one here. I got some friends in the business too. The extricated. The only difference is, we kind of let each other fight our own battles. I know that's foreign to the Ohio guys, but yeah, man, I can't wait to wrestle you. Like I said, I love your work. You got cool hair, and I'm looking forward to it.
That was wonderful. Again, first for everyone. Bam Sullivan shooting a promo on Atticus Kogar for Fight for Forever.
Yes, yes. And don't worry, there is more words. There is more words to come. I do like talking, so.
Perfect. That's exactly what we love to hear. And who are some other guys that you've been wanting to work with, especially like hopefully when borders open up? Anyone international or anyone that you haven't worked yet that you want to
Yeah,
work?
I mean listen, I'm still very ignorant when it comes to the death match scene, and I don't mean that disrespectfully at all. This was not a genre that I grew up watching. Um I kind of just stepped into it and then fell in love with it. So now I'm kind of going back and trying to do some research of my own and just pay respect to the sport. But international, I mean, Kobayashi looks awesome.
Abdullah Kobayashi.
Yeah, I mean, I saw him versus Schlack, and I was like, whoa, like this dude's
Oh
fucking
yeah.
legit. Takeda, obviously, is on my list, but excluding the international part, just in
Hmm.
general, I would love to have a match with G Raver. We've worked together before in like tag matches and very very little bit, but I would love to actually have a one-on-one with Raver. I think I've done a lot of growing since the first time we wrestled, and I think I could put on a much better performance. And why not, man? The fucking King Nick Gage. Why not? That would be great. Those are probably 3, 4 of the names I'm currently shooting for.
Those are some great names. I mean, Takeda, he makes everything, even though like, it looks complex, it's all simple.
Yeah, yeah, and it's effective,
It's
and it's
effective,
and it's
exactly.
crisp and it's executed well, and he deserves obviously all the praise he's gotten, and I hope to learn more about him and hopefully one day have that opportunity.
It's always funny how in wrestling you always want to be a student of the game, even from like a
Yes.
fan's perspective.
Oh
I'm
yes.
always wanting to learn, and I'm a history
Yes.
buff, so
Oh, okay. Fantastic. Yeah, no, absolutely. You're never done. You're always a student. You're always learning something new. Unfortunately, with the pandemic, a lot of us have lost opportunities to really get into a ring on a regular basis and wrestle with the gyms being, having like wrestling follows like weird rules and I don't know if they follow the gym rules or whatever, but obviously a lot of us have lost our rings to wrestle in and train in. So there's always other ways, whether it's studying tape, or cutting promos in the mirror, or just doing research. And you always want to be a student. You never want to. You're never done. And people who say that they're done, they're doing themselves a disservice.
I absolutely agree with that statement. And so kind of going back to MPU, since this is very recent in our memory,
Sure.
we like to take a mini trip down memory lane, but
Let's do it.
so-called Danny Havoc hardcore title defense you had against Orin Veidt, because that was something else, my friend. That was something else. I mean, first of all, like to kind of put it in perspective for the people listening to this, because this won't be on video, it'll just be solely podcast. You have these two ginormous Tokyo towers. I mean, they had to have been almost near 10 feet, like on the support beams. And of course, you have Gorlando Death running around the place, trying to make sure this contraption, I don't even know what to call it, a scaffold, when the two of you were doing that infamous bump that has made the rounds on the internet. I kind of want you to set up the stage for us on what you and Oren were thinking with that singular spot.
Yeah, of course. So we had this idea. I mean, honestly, I'll be completely honest with you. It was actually the Orlando Death Squad's idea. That was my first mistake, was allowing them to pitch any ideas. What's just build your stuff. No, great dudes, but yeah. So we had this idea with that. They're like, hey, so because the month before, I wrestled Alex Ocean, and we did this spot off the stage through a bunch of fuckery, typical NPU finish.
Typical, yeah.
So they're like, hey, how about we just up it one and put it on guardrails? We'll make the guardrails like a V shape and then stack it on top of that. And I'm thinking like, okay, but how are we reaching it? And they're like, a ladder. And I was like, okay, so we'll use the ladder or whatever, and we'll just kind of I'll give them a DVD or something, and we'll fly off together. So I don't know if you could tell, but Oren sets me up in the contraption, and he goes to climb the ladder, and then he looks at it and moves the ladder, and decides to.
I noticed that.
Yes, he decides to remove it completely from the equation. I trust Oren's judgment. Obviously, he looked at it and just the trajectory was off, whatever. So he grabs me and he goes, "All right, we're going to the balcony." So we go up to the balcony, and we're up there, and this is a little pet peeve, like. I love this style of wrestling. Unfortunately, when it comes to some of these spots, it takes so long to set up.
Yes.
It kind of hurts the momentum, kind of hurts the flow of the match. But we're up there and we're brawling and we sit up there and we hook each other and we're just like, all right, we're just gonna jump. We're just gonna jump. We can't go down now, we can't climb down. But with the way the balcony was set up, obviously the contraption wasn't meant for the balcony. So the trajectory was even worse on that. And it was just the moment we jumped, my right foot and his left foot hit the glass and just slid it right off the top. And we fell back. And Oren took a really, really nasty
my God.
straight on the guardrail. Yeah. I mean, his first concern was my welfare. My first concern was his welfare. And obviously I pinned him, and that was that. But yeah, things went a little haywire. But hey, you know what? Sometimes you watch NASCAR, and sometimes there's an explosion and a car crash, and it's the name of the game. Not all risks pay off. Sometimes you crash and burn.
Yeah, I remember I was watching that night, and the internet absolutely blew up from that. And everyone's like, are they okay? Oh my God. I'm like, I think they're both standing up. Oren shooting a promo. I messaged Oren actually the next day, just being like, hey, how are you doing? Just checking up on you. And he's like, I hurt. That's all he says. I hurt.
Yeah, and he had to wrestle that day too. I believe against Reed Bentley. I think Reed Bentley, ICW. I could be wrong.
It was Reed Bentley. That was. Whew.
Yeah, no. Thankfully, we were okay. After that match, I came back and I checked my phone. Well, at first I asked the promoter, like, "Hey, what'd you think? How was it?" Always. And then I checked my phone and I had 70 notifications on Twitter. I've never had that many notifications on Twitter in my life. I had 70. And most of them were very nice.
Well,
Some of
that's
them,
good.
you had your handful of, oh, what a bunch of fucking idiots, blah blah blah, and enjoy the hot dog and the handshake, the typical nonsense, which I think is it's all in good fun. I
The
like it.
Grandpa Simpsons.
Exactly. Yeah, yelling at the clouds. Listen, I like it. I'll retweet it. You can voice your opinion, man. It's
Yeah.
I don't take it personally. Uh but yeah, it got quite the reception. Probably a better reception than if it gone smoothly. So, you know, some
Yeah.
sometimes you take the good with the bad.
Well, I mean, I think that's a good way to put it because I had when I told people I was interviewing you, they're like, you have to ask about that spot. I'm like, I'll let him talk about it because from a fan's perspective, that's a holy shit kind of spot. And how tall was that ladder is my question.
The ladder was like just tall enough, but the balcony was like, I don't know, 15, 20 feet, like it wasn't like the new Hell in a Cell, but it
Mhm.
was probably like the Mankind Taker Hell in a Cell kind of height,
Okay.
just about 20-ish feet or so.
Okay.
It was quite a tumble, but yeah, we're alive.
We're alive and well, exactly.
Exactly.
So I do actually want to go a little bit into the origin of the extricated. Because
Sure, yeah.
as much as there's you, we also have to consider shout out to Mouse, shout out to Aiden Ball, the guy. Those are the guys I know from H2O. But what's the origins of that faction?
Yeah, so when I first started wrestling, I had three main trainers. One was Mike Mondo, of most notably of Spirit Squad fame, and he also had a
Oh
run in
yeah.
Ring of Honor and everything. Fantastic wrestler. He was there. He kind of showed me some of my basics, but my two real trainers were Blake Morris, a very good independent wrestler, and Stockade. And for whatever reason, Stockade took a liking to me. I think myself, my girlfriend Victoria, and Mouse and Aiden, we all kind of fit this like same look that he could align himself with. So we had a stable called the Hounds of Hatred, and that was like my first entry into wrestling. I used to wear face paint, and I had a kilt and all
Oh
this
my
ridiculous,
goodness. I need to see a photo of
yeah,
this.
all this ridiculous shit, and so we had this whole stable go on, and eventually it combusted, and we were kind of like revolted against Stockade, and we formed our own group, and it was called the Extricated, and we built to it was like a year-long storyline from March to February, and we built to the Extricated versus essentially like the deathmatch guys. It was G Raver,
Mm,
Devin Moore, Tara Calloway, Jeff Cannonball, Matt
mm,
Tremont, Stockade,
okay.
and we clashed at my home school, NYWC.
Okay. I know.
Yeah, we have every year we have a big show called the Psycho Circus, and the main event
Oh,
is
I think I've heard
always
of it. I think I've heard of it.
perhaps, and the main event is always like some multi-man like hardcore tag elimination match, and that was the big storyline that year was the Extricated versus the deathmatch legends, whatever you want to call them,
Mm-hmm.
and it was always awesome. That was like my first experience meeting a lot of these guys, and it was very very cool. And then once that was done, Stockade and the school parted ways, and we were kind of left in a vacuum, and we consolidated it down to just Mouse, myself, and Aiden, and yeah, we pretty much been the Extricated ever since.
Okay, that's awesome because I've seen only just the three of you that version, so I didn't really know about these other ones, and it's always nice to learn. My next thing is like, I mean, is there anyone that you've either worked with or are friends with in the wrestling business that you want to see get more opportunity?
Yes, I'm gonna sound biased, but of course my friends Aiden Bale and Mouse. Um, Aiden Bale is, I think, so underrated. I joke with him all the time because like you look at him and he doesn't really look like an athlete,
Mm-hmm.
but the dude moves like a fucking swan. Like he's so smooth, so aggressive. Like he just has this thing about him. I think he's criminally underrated. And Mouse, I think, is such a great original character. You're not really gonna see anything like that. The guy has no bones. It's all cartilage. His spine just bends. He could bend. He gnaws on everything. He spits on everything. He's coronavirus's worst nightmare. I think that both of those guys definitely deserve more. And honestly, I'm not even blowing smoke. The whole H2O training academy is just loaded with talent. Marcus Mathers, Austin Luke, Christian Ross, Chris Bradley, Ryan Redfield, nothing fake. Like I could go on. Very good. It's scary good. Shouldn't be good like that yet. You know?
Yeah, I mean they've only been how long's H2O been a promotion? It's been about what 4 or 5 years now for them.
Yeah, I think they really started in like 2015 or 2016 or so. But they didn't have a school then. The school came years later.
Yeah, that's the thing that I remember. The school came a couple. I think it was only the school's only been what like a couple years, three
Couple
years
of
maybe.
years. Yeah, tops.
hmm
Tops.
I mean that's incredible what Tremont because Tremont's not just train guys to do one niche thing. He wants them to do whatever they want to do to the best of their ability.
Yeah,
You need to
yeah.
see it.
Yeah, of course. You know, H2O is typically a bit more of a hardcore promotion.
Yes.
Obviously, it's in the fucking name. But yeah, no, you're not pigeonholed into that. You know, there's a lot of students that aren't really doing that style, and they're doing their own style, and it's great. You know, they have like 3 different trainers at that school.
Mhm.
They each have their own day, so the kids benefit from learning from a different mind each day, and makes them very well rounded and very good.
Well, I mean, that's amazing to hear. I mean, I saw Dylan McKay at GCW in Indianapolis back Labor Day weekend, and I knew H2O. I was like the only one there being like, yeah, H2O. And he gives me the head nod, and I'm like,
uh,
you know what's up.
Yeah, no,
Um,
Dylan's great. I can't believe I forgot to mention him. He's been making waves too, man. He's been doing some crazy shit.
he's awesome.
Yeah,
I
he's
mean, all
great.
those H2O guys are fantastic, really. Sean Henderson has a special place in my
Sean
heart.
Henderson, fucking Matt Tremont's first student. I love Sean.
I
Sean's
forgot.
the man.
I always forget he's like the first student of
He is
training.
the man. The man that personifies the heart and soul of H2O completely.
Really, yeah. So I know you've been working there since roughly around 2017. How have you seen like your own personal growth at H2O since
Yeah,
starting there 2017?
yeah. It's funny because my first match is actually forgotten about. Even like my first known H2O match is probably the first Subterranean Violence.
Okay.
I fought Jeff Cannonball and I fought Aiden Bale, and that was like my entry into the company.
Okay.
But it's funny because when you listen to the commentary, they even say the debuting Bam Sullivan, and that's actually wrong. I wrestled for them like 8 months prior to that, and
Oh wow.
it was a tag match. It was myself and my tag partner Boo at the time
Okay.
against the Storm of fucking Entrails, which is Schlack and Dan O'Hare.
Oh my
And that
goodness.
was the first time I was ever actually booed out of a building before. It was hard. It was horrible.
At least you
I've
can laugh
never.
about it now.
Oh, of course. I've never felt so uncomfortable. They were yelling at us how like we belong on their side of the guardrail and stay the fuck away and stay home and trust me, it was not like good heat. It was X-Pac heat. It was bad heat. You know,
Oh
we were just
man.
they did not like us. So I was like, all right. So I blew my shot at Matt Tremont's company. And then for whatever reason, you know, months and months and months later, when they had Subterranean Violence, Matt reached out, and I was like, yes, please. Like, I would love to come back and you know and do better. So you know, all the way from that first embarrassing performance to now, I think it speaks for itself. You know, I think I've worked very hard and I've been given opportunities, and I've had people believe in me. You know, I don't not to be preachy, I don't really believe in self-made men. I think you know you need someone to put their hand out. Someone somewhere along the lines, someone's putting a good word for you or whatever. So I've had a lot of assistance. You know, Matt Tremont believes in me. My trainer Stockade believes in me. I've had a lot of good people help me out. So I owe a lot to them. But yeah, definitely, it's been a complete 180 since my first time there.
Well, that's absolutely awesome. I think the thing that really stands out to me when you say it's like it's not just about the one; it's about multiple people. And people always are like wrestling's a singular sport. It's like it can be a team in a ways.
It
Take
is.
it takes a village to grow a village.
Exactly, 100%. And like I said, there's always exceptions to the rules. I'm sure that you have some of those, you know, guys that really just did it on their own.
Mm-hmm.
But from my experience, it takes people to believe in you. You know, just doing good business, treating people with kindness, helping helping other people out and people seeing you grow and seeing your work. I've had a few guys vouch for me. You know, the reason why I got into No Peace is because people have vouched for me.
Mhm.
Um, so you know, work hard and be a good person. But yeah, it definitely it's more than just I worked hard and grit my teeth. You know, people have to believe in you, and that helps you and you network and so on and so forth.
Well, I mean, thank you for that. I think one thing I want to ask you is, so when it comes to like the matches you've done, what are like the things you like the most in weapons, and what's your least favorite thing in weapons?
Oh, that's a great question. My favorite weapon, by far, is glass. It's unpredictable. It's one of those things that seemingly never gets old. Maybe it's because I'm still fairly new, but it
Hmm.
seems like glass always gets a great reaction. I think the unpredictability of it adds to that reaction. You know, you never really know what you're going to get with glass. You could walk out completely unscathed, or you could scar your body permanently. So I like that
Hmm.
randomness to it. My least favorite weapon is carpet strips. Um,
Oh.
Carpet strips, I say this all the time. It's all risk, no reward because no one knows what the fuck they are. Everyone just thinks it's like thin pieces of wood, but this wood is actually covered in nails.
Yeah.
But they're dark, they're brown, and they're you know about maybe like a thumbtack size, so people don't really know what it is. But that shit will ruin your life. Carpet strips are terrible and kendo sticks. Kendo sticks just sting like a mother. I can't stand them. I can't stand them. I don't say no to a lot, you know, but carpet strips are the worst. Kendo sticks are the worst. Glass is my favorite,
Hmm.
definitely.
Okay, those are some good answers. Um, so then, considering those weapons you mentioned, and I despise needles. I will say that, and that's for all my listeners. I despise needle spots. I will still watch the match, but your match with Alex Ocean, the amount of needles, and then of course, the two of you are sharing gifts from Saw about the needles, and I'm like, guys, I don't need these. But what's your take on needles then? Since that seems to
Yeah.
be kind of the new trendy thing these days.
Well, you know, I flew down to Florida, and the no piece, not the no piece guys, the Orlando Death Squad guys are like, so hey, Alex wants syringes, and I'm like, oh, fantastic! This should be exciting. I thought they were actually pretty cool. You know, I actually I used to ask the doctor for shots when I was a kid, but
Mm.
believe it or not, this isn't even like some kayfabe bullshit story. Like when I was a child, I used to ask the doctor for shots. I liked needles for some reason. Weird, but somehow that's come back to me in my wrestling career. But I liked it. I liked the effects. I liked them hanging out on my shoulders. I
That
liked the
that was cool. I like the shoulders. I can't the face. That just always irks me.
yeah, with the cheeks like going into
Yeah, and
hanging
then
out.
they have water in them, and they just kind of.
Yeah, haven't been
Uh,
there yet. Don't see myself doing that.
okay.
My girlfriend gives me a hard time enough about some of the shit that I take. But I really liked the syringe door cutter spot.
Oh yeah, that
But
was pretty neat.
I thought it looked really cool. The photos with it like that they're all flying, and I thought that was like
Yeah.
a nice effect. And people were just like, "What the fuck? Are you insane? Like, what's the matter with you?" And I'm like, "Yes, please feel that way."
Yeah, I could just tell the two of you had just great chemistry working together. And I think it's interesting. It's going to be interesting what you and Atticus come up with an MPU because I think the MPU guys they might have something special planned. I feel like
Yeah, you never know what you're gonna get with the MPU guys. They're a bunch of sick masterminds.
they really are. Like I did an article. I'm also doing writing, and I did like I'm doing a write up on GCW Fight Forever, and NP was one of the shows I said to watch. And I'm like, don't let the weird show names deter you because that's just the beginning.
Yeah, no, always a very unique show name. Don't know what half of them mean, but
I
I
know.
I
Oh, there was one I found. It was Anku. The
Ankow,
what
right? Yeah.
Ankow. It was something like Welsh or something like that. It was something with like Welsh superstition, and I'm like, who comes up with these? I'm like always genuinely curious who comes up with them. And I don't know
Yeah.
if you watched Anku. Did you watch it?
No, I didn't see all of it. I saw
But did
some
you see the
matches. I saw some
intro?
spots.
Did you see the intro?
No, I didn't see the intro.
Oh my god! It literally looked like something out of those monster truck Sunday, Sunday, Sunday commercials.
Oh, I listen. I gotta say, they got a guy there named Drew. I'm sure there's a few others involved, but
Mm.
whoever is doing like the production, I love it. I think it's so great. I know there were some weird reviews with some of the movie clips that they were having in
Oh,
between the
um,
matches.
that was for Memento Mori.
Yes, there were like
Those
some
were
movie clips.
bizarre. Oh
Yeah,
my
some people
goodness.
weren't. Some people didn't love it, but it was also just like because they have to set up shit, you
Yeah,
know.
it's fine filler for some.
Exactly. Just so that you can at least look at something instead of just an empty arena for, 5-10 minutes.
Yeah.
But I love the production they have going on. I think it's the promo packages are sick. The hype videos are sick. Like I love it. The weird names, all of it, just it makes this place special and different.
So I think kind of going on to MPU since you're a part of the show and since you're working the kind of on the regular these days, how do you feel about the ring versus the no ring concept? Like, what do you prefer more?
Yeah, I saw a very interesting debate on Facebook. It might have been in the Deathmatch Elite Facebook. There's like a bunch of deathmatch groups
Yeah,
on Facebook, and there was a
I know which
debate.
one you're talking about.
There was a debate in one of them about that, about the novelty of the no ring compared to the ring, and I dabble back and forth with how I feel about it. On one hand, not having a ring separates them from everyone else. On the other hand, it also could limit perhaps some of the creativity involved. Like with the wrestling ring, you have the apron, you have the sides, you have the turnbuckle post, you have the ropes. There's so many different things you could do. With just the stage, it could be fairly limiting, and perhaps some of the matches could lack diversity because everyone's using the same weapons. It's what I'm saying, but that's their niche. That's what they're doing. It's clearly working, so I can't judge.
Mm-hmm.
I'm happy to be a part. If they want to go strictly no ring and keep the ring for special occasions, I think that's great. The formula they have is working. So obviously it's not causing a burnout with the novelty. People still are tuning in, so I'm all about it.
Yeah, I think that's definitely a good point where I think certain things in deathmatch have been burnt out. I'm not going to say what,
Sure.
but
Yep.
at the same time, I think I don't mind the no ring as long as it's not like something we're going to see it every single month
Yeah.
because then there's a novelty to it.
Of
But
course.
there's a
Of
cool
course.
novelty because like you have the uniqueness of using soundbar in Orlando, or I know Time Bomb Pro has been using the no ring and has done it to success. Of course,
Yeah.
that's Warren Bites promotion up
Yeah. Of
there,
course.
and
Of course.
you're seeing at least the idea of it being tossed around, but it's not being overdone. I think that's the big difference there.
Yeah, I don't think it's overdone. It's definitely becoming popular, but
Yes,
wrestling has the beauty about wrestling is that there's so much of it out there. So if you don't like it, there's a million other things to watch. You know what I'm saying? It's not like this is all you have. It's
exactly.
they have their niche. They do it very well. The sound bar is one of the coolest venues I've been in.
It seems like a
Uh,
really cool venue.
yeah, it's super dope. So I like to have my opinions, but at the same time, my general belief is that if something is working, then it is what it is. And if it's working, great. So
I used to have on my Twitter, I used to have a thing that said all wrestling is better than no wrestling.
yeah, no, exactly. If you don't like it,
Don't watch.
there's other things out there. Yeah, like I know Chikara, was a very cartoony comic book kind of company.
Yeah,
Again, you could say that's a novelty. However, they had a niche.
it
If
worked.
you don't like it, exactly, and if you don't like it, there's a million other promotions to watch.
Exactly. And I think that's the beauty. And I think, I mean, with this show I'm doing with Deathmatch, this is kind of like a love letter in sorts, thanking the guys like yourself, thanking the guys like Tremont who do Deathmatch, who've given their support, their undying love for it, but just giving them the platform to appreciate, you know? It's not just about Deathmatch, but, like there's so much wrestling. And I mean, it's funny the people, I don't know if you've seen this a lot lately where everyone's like, oh yeah, this bump was not safe versus this bump was safe. It's going off of the new flavor of the month, as I should say, on Wrestle Twitter. And I think it's interesting. People are just like, oh, I don't like this. It's like, if you don't like it, why are you commenting on it?
Yeah, you watch something else. I think social. Listen, I'm not one of those like, oh, social media is evil kind of people, but I do think that social media has groomed us to express our opinions all the time.
Mm-hmm.
And what happens is, because you're online now, you meet other people with similar opinions. It reaffirms your own biases, and it's very easy to become a vocal minority. And I don't blame people for voicing their opinions. I just wish that sometimes perhaps you would understand that you're not wrestling.
Mm-hmm.
So just let it go. Like if Dana Brooke, I think that's who
Yeah,
touched
Dana Brooke. Mm-hmm.
yeah, like if she comes back critically injured and she broke her neck, okay, then maybe we need to reestablish how we feel about the powerbomb choke slam. But until then, I thought it looked great. Um, it's very hard to be original in wrestling these days.
It
I've never
is.
seen a
I
move like
agree.
that. Maybe it's been done before. I haven't seen it. I thought it was really cool. I also know that Nia Jax doesn't have like a great rep, and people are always
No.
looking. She had, some unfortunate things have happened with her, and I get it. And people, but like, Jeff Hardy could jump off a fucking 30-foot ladder and break his tailbone, and he's a hero. You know,
Exactly.
a powerbomb chokeslam looked I guess, a little rough, and everyone, oh, she's dangerous. Whatever, man.
Um, to me, I think Aiden commented on yours. I think his thing was the best thing I heard about it.
Yeah,
It
and he was
wasn't the
right.
move, it was the leg drop.
Yeah.
That's what bothered me more was the leg drop because oh yeah, like that what she did, it was like that was like something you see in like AJPW.
Yeah,
But
no.
then the leg drop, that wasn't some Hulk Hogan leg drop. That was oof.
I know, and I think if this was the Indies, she would have stopped with the powerbomb chokeslam.
Yeah,
But I think with television, when they try to like establish moves as being like, impossible moves to kick out of, they wanted her to get that move. And I don't know, I don't work for the company, but
of course.
that's the only thing I'm thinking is that, obviously they're really trying to sell that leg drop, so they made her do it, even if it didn't come out the prettiest.
No,
I thought the finish should have just been the powerbomb choke slam,
I agree.
But then again, we could armchair quarterback, for hours if we really wanted to.
Yeah, I was gonna say I can make a whole other podcast about being an armchair quarterback in wrestling, but that's not why I'm here. But again, I think we're just about close to being done here, Bam. Again, I want to thank you so much for being the very first guest of Your Dose of Death. You've been a fantastic guest.
Oh, thank
So
you. I'm
something I
happy to
kind of
be here.
wanted to finish off with is a little game I want to do with most of my guests. It's word association.
Okay.
So if I say a name or something like that, I want you to give your honest opinion. It can be long, it can be short, it can be whatever you want it to be. So
Sure.
the first word I'm going to say is 440.
Um, it's unavoidable. Whether you like them or you hate them, they're making waves, and they're doing good business, and everyone hates them. So it's unavoidable. They're great.
Okay. Well, the next word I have for you is Matt Tremont.
Uh, Amazing. I could gush. He would hate to hear it. I don't think he loves being gassed up. That's a testament to who Matt is. But probably one of my favorite people in the world. One of my very good friends. I would do anything for Matt. One of the nicest guys. Just absolutely amazing, incredible.
Okay. Well, my next word is gonna be. Gotta put a little thought in this one. How about bumps?
Bumps. Time sensitive. When I first got into wrestling, I always heard about the infamous bump card,
Mhm.
and how you only have so many in you. And I was 22 at the time and didn't believe it, and now I understand.
Well, I think the last word I'm gonna give you, Danny Havoc Hardcore Championship.
Right now it's my pride and joy. You know, I display it proudly in my room. I love it. I think it's this is a shoot. I think it's the most beautiful championship in professional wrestling. I love what it stands for. I love defending it. I love bleeding for it. I love killing myself for it. It's right now it's everything to me. It's not a prop. It's not just a leather belt. You know, it's a celebration of a legend. And humbled isn't even the word. Like I'm just so grateful, and I hope to continue delivering and putting on good performances and paying homage to the fucking man himself.
Well, I think that's a fantastic place to stop. Bam, I want to thank you again for taking the time out of your day to be the very first episode of Your Dose of Death podcast. Thank you again, Bam.
It's my pleasure. Thank you so much. Hopefully, I'll be back one day and enjoy the rest of your night.
Thank you.